At MIT, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate MIT's code of conduct or rules regarding bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
If targeted at individuals, not making public statements.
Yes or no?
Yes, welcome back. On Saturday, University of Pennsylvania President Liz resigned from her positions after she would not denounce calls for. During a disastrous congressional hearing this week, Liz will stay on as president until the university finds her replacement. She recently sent this out on Twitter. Before we go into this clip, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please endeavor to do that. And if possible, why not share out this video?
Madam Chair, I'd like to yield the balance of my time to the gentlewoman from New York.
Dr. Kornbluth,
Yes.
at MIT, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate MIT's code of conduct or rules regarding bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
If targeted at individuals, not making public statements.
Yes or no? Calling for the genocide of Jews does not constitute bullying and harassment?
I have not heard calling for the genocide for Jews on our campus.
But you've heard chants for intifada.
I've heard chants, which can be anti-Semitic depending on the context, when calling for the elimination of the Jewish people.
So those would not be according to the MIT's code of conduct or rules?
That would be investigated as harassment if pervasive and severe.
Ms. Magill, at Penn, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Penn's rules or code of conduct? Yes or no?
If the speech turns into conduct, it can be harassment, yes.
I am asking specifically calling for the genocide of Jews. Does that constitute bullying or harassment?
If it is directed and severe or pervasive, it is harassment.
So the answer is yes.
It is a context-dependent decision, Congresswoman.
It's a context-dependent decision. That's your testimony today. Calling for the genocide of Jews is depending upon the context. That is not bullying or harassment. This is the easiest question to answer yes, Ms. Magill. So is your testimony that you will not answer yes?
If the
Yes or no?
If the speech becomes conduct, it can be harassment, yes.
Conduct meaning committing the act of genocide? The speech is not harassment? This is unacceptable, Ms. Magill. I'm going to give you one more opportunity for the world to see your answer. Does calling for Jews violate Penn's code of conduct when it comes to bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
It can be harassment.
The answer is yes. And Dr. Gay, at Harvard, does calling for the Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
It can be, depending on the context.
What's the context?
Targeted as an individual, at an individual.
It's
severe,
targeted at
pervasive.
Jewish students, Jewish individuals. Do you understand your testimony is dehumanizing them? Do you understand that dehumanization is part of anti-Semitism? I will ask you one more time. Does calling for the Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
Anti-Semitic rhetoric.
And is it anti-Semitic rhetoric?
Anti-Semitic rhetoric when it crosses into conduct that amounts to bullying, harassment, intimidation, that is actionable conduct, and we do take action.
So the answer is yes, that calling for the death of Jews violates Harvard Code of Conduct, correct?
Again, it depends on the context.
It does not depend on the context. The answer is yes, and this is why you should resign. These are unacceptable answers across the board.
This is a very serious situation. You know, they had a very serious, tough question. I cannot actually say this was tough. Very simple, yes or no question. But it was extremely difficult, to actually respond to it. I've tried to reason this out. I still cannot understand why they all rejected to answer a yes or no question. That is what I've tried to actually figure out. This topic is a very complicated one. Reason sometimes when I'm putting out videos, relating to this, I always just try as much as possible, to report the news. Yes, I understand how people are so sentimental about this topic, so reporting it is very sensitive. I've seen a lot of people, getting upset on this topic, but let me say this now in bold terms. I don't think you calling for the terminations of any group of people is right. That is wrong. No matter how you twist that, it is wrong. They were facing a situation, on a particular group of people. They were supposed to face it the right way, not saying, oh, it is like this, it is like that. I don't get the point. If you can instigate people by saying, oh, this group of people they should not exist on earth, you are instigating it by saying it without acting, you are instigating people. So you should not even say it to be on the safe side. Please, a lot of people have been asking me what happened. I had an accident, a few days ago, though it was not too serious. If you can see here, I just wanted to inform because I dropped my latest video. I saw on the comment sections a lot of people asking what happened to your hand. That is the situation, but I could not stay. I just need to update you as I do on daily basis. Now going back into this situation, I don't always like to address cases like this, especially giving commentaries. It is not really good for me. Yeah, because I'm always scared not to say something that will hurt someone. I just want to be in a position, just to report the news by not hurting anyone. I try as much as possible, to do that on daily basis, though I still touch on persons.
Organization, the Heritage Foundation, loves Texas. Ooh, they love Texas. They always sending us some nonsense bills that somehow set this country on the wrong trajectory. They send them to Texas. They send them to Florida. Every deplorable state that we can think about, they usually coming out of y'all's think tank. But nevertheless, when we talk about protecting women, what we've seen is, say, in the state of Ohio was one of the most recent states when their lawmakers didn't have the courage to do what they needed to do because, of course, we believe in gerrymandering.
It's disappointing to me that although the title of this hearing implies a much-needed discussion, we're likely going to be forced to listen to transphobic bigotry.
A few moments later.
Inclusion cannot be prioritized over safety and fairness. And Ranking Member Lee, if my testimony makes me trans, then I believe your opening monologue makes you a misogynist.